10 countries from the University of Dresden in Germany, and a master's degree in gender, peace, and security, obtained at Kofi Annan Peacekeeping International Training Center, Accra, Ghana. From 2001 to 2012, she served in Etisalat, Benin, SA as HR Manager and Director of Administration and Human Resources. Prior to that telecommunication company, she worked for the first 10 years of her career as Administrative Manager of Development Projects, notably within GIS Benin, that's German Technical Corporation. Within this institution, Christiane ADOVELANDE served as Head of Finance and Administration from 1992 to 2001, where she gained solid experience in administration and financial management. She is passionate of the cause of women and organizer of many conferences and activities related to women and sustainable development. Christiane ADOVELANDE is one of the advisors and former president of the Group of African Ambassadors' Spouses in Beijing, China. The GAAS aims to create a favorable framework for exchanges between Africa ambassadors and Chinese women's organizations and associations with a view to promote friendship and solidarity between African nations and the Chinese people. Through these activities, and thanks to the invaluable participation of its members and sponsors, the group raised funds for charity, whether it is in China or Africa, for the benefit of underprivileged people, women, and children. So before we have Mrs. Christiane ADOVELANDE speak to us, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the following dignitaries among us. Ambassador Simon Pierre ADOVELANDE, Ambassador of the Benin Republic to the People's Republic of China. Professor Carl Oshodi, an adjunct research professor of infrastructure and infrastructure management, University of Kigali, Rwanda. Professor of strategic security, Addis Ababa University, Ethiopia, and the group CEO, Africa Industrialization Group. We are very grateful to you for joining us, and we welcome you warmly to today's session. Mrs. Christiane ADOVELANDE, over to you, ma.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share at this big audience. I really want to thank OAAD for this, the initiative of this ADAFAM PCP conference. I'm really impressed because this is really the elite of Africa. And almost all the aspects, all the spheres of development of the society are, are mentioned here. And my prayer is that the results of this conference will really be heard where policies are adjusted. Okay, so can I have my first slide, please? The topic that I am supposed to present is breaking gender bias and strong cultural identity formation begins at home. The imperative of functional African families for actualization of AU Agenda 2063. Next slide, please. Okay, so without wasting time on, sharing again on all the objectives and also the aspirations of the Africa We Want agenda, I just want to start saying that You know, among these 17 goals, the most important one is about gender equality. And the main objective is to achieve full gender equality in all spheres of life. This means, oh no, please, back here. This means we want to build an African society where girls and boys can reach their full potential and men and women can contribute equally to the development of the society. And in order to reach this objective, we know that actions must be taken against gender-based violence and all sorts of discrimination against women and girls. But we also know that in the challenging society that we live in Africa, where there are economic, cultural, and so many, problems to solve, we need to really develop a real political will. And that is not to mention the specific cases of conflict, as it has just been done by Colonel a while ago. So the approach of the Agenda 2063 is a people-driven development. That means this is not, we are no more leaving all the challenges into the hands of government, but it's about the real actors of society working to their own development and fulfillment. And in the specific area where I am talking now, we need to allow women to be full part citizens, and they are also really already active, very active agents of economy in our countries. And we also need to remember that African nations must take responsibility. For a long time, we have been putting all the blame on government, but we forget that we are the leaders. Today, I'm speaking to an audience of, big doctors, PhD holder, and we will not speak about other leadership than this one. This is really the leadership of Africa. Next slide, please. So we are talking about a people-driven approach. I just want to lay a little bit of the background, because we know that, African countries have signed many treaties and conventions. They have adopted many international law regulations. They have enacted laws, drafted policies, and all that in the area of gender equality. But what can we see as a result today? Even recently, my own country, Benin, has created the National Institute of Women in July 2021 with mission, to be like a second governmental arm by the Ministry of Social Affairs, aiming to assist women victims of violence in legal procedure, caring on psychological, offenses to women, and also helping them, to be able to access public and political spheres. So many countries have taken, have adopted so many laws, enacted laws. We have, what we can really call a legal arsenal. But we can realize that the issue of women's rights is still not really changing in Africa. Since the adoption of Maputo Conference by African nations, that's big provisions that have addressed so much issue, especially cultural aspects. Cultural aspects like children marriage, genital mutilation, and all that. we can see that Africa is strictly attached to its culture. Not that our culture is wrong, no. Our culture is valuable. Our culture is what we need to defend most. And we can't speak about development without, sticking on our realities. But there is still a change of mindset to work on in Africa. Even after 10 years of implementation, this, Agenda 2063, how far have we gone? Next slide, please. I also mentioned the fact that we used to put all blames on government, but what is the civil society doing? As entrepreneurs and organization leaders, what do we really do for men, like for youth and women? How far do we give opportunities to women in the way we lead our companies? I have experienced it. I have been, in the management of a big company, and I realized that I was discriminated. Some suggestion that I was making was not taken into account. Just because I am a woman, I was not given the same opportunities as men. As African fathers and mothers, which future are we building for our children? Especially when I take the case of we who are living abroad. Our children are really, they are disconnected from their culture. So our work is to always remind them their origins, speak to them about their country. They are learning about the history, the geography, and the culture of other nations, but they don't know the one of their own nation. So it's we as parents, it's our duty to teach our children, to speak to them about the story of their nation, the story of their tribe, and the areas where they originated from. And even when we talk about, a discrimination against women, today, when we look at our young girls, are we sure they have escaped from it, even though they may not even come back to Africa and live in Africa, marry in Africa, but they will still be confronted to these situations. They can be victim of violence. It doesn't have sometimes anything to do with the nationality or the origin. It just depends on the mindset of the men that they are going to marry tomorrow. So how do we shape our children's destiny as African citizens? We are really failing, and we need to do something about it. And something that I have noticed is whenever you speak with young people, those who are living abroad and even those who are still in Africa, they all want to run away from their nations. They will tell you there is no job, there is no opportunities. It is true. But we also need to make them realize that they are the one who will create the opportunities. They got degrees, they saw things, they have witnessed the development of other nations. So they need to understand that they have to come back to their country and create the opportunities. Who is going to create it? Yes, government, but we have been laying all our hope on government. It is time now that civil society will take responsibility. Next slide, please. Next slide. Oh, okay. Now, oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Come back, please. the first slide on mindset transformation. Yeah, okay. So we are talking about women. Now, I really want to address women here. We really need to work on ourselves. Women themselves shy from public sphere. When it comes to even speaking in public sometimes, women don't speak, but they have ideas. They have things to say. Once they find themselves with, friends among friends, they are prompt to criticize. They are prompt to speak. But immediately they come out of their usual sphere. Women don't want to talk. We need to talk. We need to make people know what we are thinking. We need to make people know what is our interest. What do we need? What can make our fulfillment? Women don't support each other. I'm saying that because I take my own example. I remember when it comes to women who were candidates to political position in my country, I used to judge them. I used to criticize. I used to say, oh, she's not even, a married woman. She's not even able to handle her home. She's not, she doesn't really have this level of education. She doesn't have a good reputation. She's not serious. But that is not the problem. The problem is to be able to face that challenge, to be able to represent women in that sphere, that political arena. I changed the way I saw it change only when I was preparing my master in gender, peace, and security. Then I realized how challenging was the situation. I realized how far women are from the level that they are supposed to be, how absent women are from every sphere of development. And then my eyes was open to understand that we are our own, we are the one who really, we don't help each other. We don't support ourselves. We need to support ourselves. It's not about who we are. It's not about, what we have been able to achieve. Okay, we need to be exemplary people to be able to become leaders. But the most important thing when it comes to women development is to be able to get educated women who can take responsibility and have a say in what is decided in the nation. Women avoid women's circles and associations. How many times do we have to encourage people, speak to people so many times to make them join some circle that they belong to? They just don't appear. They have many reasons. Sometimes it is lack of education. Sometimes they are not confident. But most of the time, women will tell you that, no, I get offended easily. I don't like those things. I don't like criticism. But these are few things. These are very basic things that we must be able to overcome to show the world that women can hold their hands together and realize serious things. So it starts from ourselves. And when I come to the way we train our children, we are the one who spend more time with our children. And, gender inequality is embedded in our society. So we really need to break it in our children's mindset from the roots, from the crib, even from the toys that we are given to our children. If we are giving a car to only little boys, so in their minds, they are the only one who are able or who can drive a car. Once you are not giving the car to the little girl, She won't see herself in a car in the future, but you are giving her a doll. So to her, this is her environment is limited to taking care of children. So we really need to be careful. And when we take violence against women procedure, victim will never agree to go beyond the step of reconciliation. Women are never ready to complain or to sue their husband who has become their persecutor, even though they are beaten and mistreated, sometimes until death, but they are not ready. They are just not ready to start that procedure. Yes, I will come back to it a little bit later. We have our own conflict resolution frame socially. We will come back to it in a few times. But if my life is in danger, I need to defend myself, and justice is available for that. Remember what happened in all society when men have to leave the house, when they have to go to war, for instance. Women have to take their responsibility, and they do it well. When you take the case of some country today where women are, in majority in the parliament, it started from that time where they had to educate themselves, where they have to take over the responsibility of their homes, where they have to go out of home and work. Then they were forced to take responsibility at every level, even in the workplace. That's how I take the case of Uganda. That's how, today we realize that women are in majority in the parliament. We should not wait for affirmative actions. We have to educate ourselves. We have to train ourselves. We have to be ready. So we need to encourage girls to go to school. Let us do it even in our own village. Let us encourage parents to send girls to school. Next slide, please. Can I have next slide? Thank you. Everyone needs to take responsibility. When it comes to education or training children, please, men, take responsibility. I realize in African men mindset, children education is a women affair. They leave it into the hands of women to train children at home, but also even to be the one who will follow the education aspect. But sometimes men are even more equipped. They are more equipped for it because in many cases, they are the one who are the more educated. They are the one who are leaders in companies. So they are more aware of the challenges on the marketplace and on the workplace. And they are more, they are more able to draft the direction of their children's education. But unfortunately, they leave it into the hands of women. And sometimes women are not even educated enough to be able to take decision and, orientate the education of their children. What career do we prepare for our children? We need to start from grassroots. When girls are still young, make them to be interested to science and technology. There is no job reserved to men. We are talking about same opportunities for boys and girls. So it starts from home. We parents have to give the same opportunities to our children. Same right to relax after school. After school, girls may have also the will, you know, to go out, take some fresh air. Not only boys, we allow boys to go and play football with their friends, and we force girls to go to the kitchen. Yes, girls have to go to the kitchen because they are the one who will have to nurture the house later. But boys also need to learn how to cook and help the spouses later. So let's stop, you know, doing all this break, you know, in the way we train our children. Beware of what you say to your children. I remember in my own family, we are 4 girls and only 1 boy. And I remember that even when my young brother, and he's the last one, even when he was 5 or 4 years, everybody in the family was telling him he's the boss. Everybody will tell him, you know, because only you, you know, in French, when you want to speak about many people, only one man will make use the masculine article, you know. And this kind of things, it go deep in the mindset of children. So he grows with the understanding that he's the boss, even though he's not doing anything to deserve that position. Be careful when you solve children conflicts. Don't always give, you know, don't always think girls are wrong. I remember when I was in conflict sometime with my brother, my parents telling me that, no, he's the boy, so you just take it easy and forget about it. I said, no, I'm the senior. He is my young brother, so he needs to respect me. You know, these little things, it seems to be nothing, but it is so important. And we need to make a new mindset. We need to build a new mindset in our children's mentality. That's the only way it will work. And also, even between men and women, we need to seek for gender harmony. I'm not saying it to make women to, you know, I'm not a feminist. I believe it cannot work without negotiation. We really need to agree on some basic things. And men need to really help women. Men need to agree to share power, to share the responsibility in the house, and make women able to take more decisions in their homes. How do we teach home maintenance to our children? Who said boys should not be caregivers? And finally, we have built a society where men are, the heart of men is so hard. Men can see their spouse suffer. It doesn't touch them. They don't care. I've seen so many couples where the situations that the woman is going through doesn't even affect the men at all. The woman doesn't have any resource to survive or to start anything, to do anything. She's just, you know, giving food to everybody, cooking the whole day, even though she has studied, her parent has invested money on her, she has degrees, but she doesn't have any opportunity to get a job and participate to development of her society, just because maybe she married the wrong person. We really need to work and change those things. Who said women are not breadwinners? There is a kind of, you know, men are breadwinners, women are caregivers. Who said that? We need to change and break this separation, break this mindset. Parent, how do you react faced to the choices of your children? When your daughter will tell you, I want to go into the army, I like people in uniforms. What will you tell her? Will you encourage her? Even myself, I know it will be difficult, but we just need to take the decision to help women to go into the sphere where women are not going. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm now coming to conflict solving in family area. You know, women are never ready to quit their home easily. Whenever there is a conflict, whenever a woman, an African woman, is victim of violence, she will even cover it. She will cover it for a time. Only when it will become too much, she will decide to talk about it. And where she will talk about it, she will first seek for mediation in the family. She will look for somebody among the leaders of the family to address the issue, to talk to her husband. Only when a woman has decided to quit the home, to quit the marriage, then she will seek for legal resource. We realize that women who are victims of violence, even though sometimes the government will, take responsibility of the whole procedure, when they have to leave their house to save their life, they may have a place where they can stay for a while, but these situations are not easy. When eventually the husband will be put in prison, the woman sometimes women don't have sometimes resources. They are not always educated. They don't always have a job. So it's not the best solution for them. They don't want to see their husband in prison. But we realize it is our nations, our countries have adopted laws and policies that doesn't really fit our society. I remember my work when I was preparing my master in gender, peace, and security. My work was based on demonstrating that legal measures doesn't really change some issues, especially the issue of violence against women. We really need to make sure, at least in the policies that we are drafting out of the laws that are enacted in our nations, we really need to make sure we are taking the realities of our society into consideration. Men help women. When women are empowered, the whole family benefits from it. Let women participation into debates and negotiation process be promoted. And to finish, I want to say, we cannot achieve the Africa we want without gender harmony. I mentioned it before. It's not about shouting women's rights. It's not about just, trying to take position, trying to take the place of the chief, of the leader in the house. That will change the situation. We need to negotiate with men. And men, please help us. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Lalita, are you there? Your voice is still just on mute.
Thank you very much, Mrs. ADOVELANDE. I hope I had it right. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Indeed, we can't achieve the Africa we want without gender harmony. So we'll take a few questions and then we'll address some of the questions that have been put in the chat box. I see Disney's hand up. Disney, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Christian. I appreciate very much your presentation about gender harmony. And when you mentioned that the education of gender harmony should work since the beginning, when a kid grow up, is completely true, because how people, men and women, they grow up in society, on a family place, they will keep what they learn since the beginning. It's very important to work on it since the beginning. In Africa, we have this very big issue in terms of gender equality. And but it's not only in Africa. What I see, it's all over the world. But Africa is so suffer a lot about this. And in my country, especially, by the way, I'm from Sao Tome and Principe. I did present. My name is Disney Ramos. So in Africa, in my country, especially, women sometimes they are not. They don't have choice. They don't have opportunity to participate actively in politics, in party, because politics takes time for they to go to meetings all the time. And women also should be in the kitchen, as you mentioned, should take care of family, should worry about making food. And they don't have opportunity to get, to go high position in the party. It's very concerned about this. But what we should find out how to solve this. I know, and we know that it takes time, but we should collaborate together. We should work together how to solve this. Work on this since in the beginning of the, when we are kids, to grow up on this. One thing I was expecting you to mention as well is that sometimes not only men's mindset that puts women in, not high position. Sometimes it's women's fault. For example, if a man invites women for restaurant, sometimes women doesn't pay. Can say, who will pay the bills is a man. Should say, okay, let's share. I also can pay my bills. You don't need to pay for me. Women should should show that they also have power. Don't give a power for men. Thank you.
Coming to what you mentioned about women political career, for instance, I used to tell women that there are phases in life. The time that you are taking care of your children, when your children are young, even though you are working, you cannot expect that during that season, you will be able to give your full professional potential. You just have to put your ambition to, to be promoted maybe in standby, and know that this is a season where I have to give more to my children because they are young. And also, I'm a new married woman. I really need to give more attention to my husband. I need to demonstrate, who I am. I need to, there are phases in life. Women engaging into a political career will be, after some years of practicing, it will not be right from the beginning of your career. Even though maybe you study political science and all that, you will have to take a job that will give you more time to take care of your family. And then when your children are grown, you have now more time to be able to you know, take care of your career, build your career, and you know, move to like achieve your ambition, your professional ambition. And I agree with you that women have to show their power. I've said it. I did not mention the financial aspect, but I've said it that women need to show what they are able to do. They need to show that they are thinking and be able to have a say in the development of their nation. Thank you so much.
Very much. Unfortunately, we ran against time. We are out of time. So kindly put your questions in the chat box. We'll collate all the unanswered questions and then get them to our resource persons. And we'll publish the responses and the booklets that will come out after the seminar, after the conference has ended. So Ria, Yusuf, Professor Odoshi, I hope I'm right. Please put all your questions in the chat box. We'll get them answered and get them back to you as early as possible after the conference. All right. Thank you so much, our resource persons, for today. Today has been very engaging, and we can all see how enjoyable it has been. We don't even want to end it, yet it must actually come to an end. Tomorrow is another day. Before we'll call on our president, Dr. Elijah Odi, but before he comes in, can we put on our cameras so that we take group photos? Then Dr. Odi can address us, and we'll call it a day so that our resource persons can actually leave us if they have other engagements to attend to. Kindly put on your cameras. Lieutenant Colonel Jojo Mensayos and Ria, Yusuf, Crystal, Gideon, Mary, Kojo. Okay, we have two of Lieutenant Mensa. Okay. All right, our biggest smiles. I'm already smiling for everyone. All right, I'm on the next page. Most of our cameras are off. Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much. We have a few shots. I hope we are looking as good as I'm seeing on our screen, my screen. All right, so Dr. Odi Elijah, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lalit, for the great job you did with moderating and carrying along everyone in the event. And I want to take this opportunity to thank very seriously with all our hearts on behalf of the Organization of African Academic Doctors and the other partnering organizations. There are 6 organizations we're working with for putting this together. I want to thank everyone for the great job done. Our resource persons want to tell you that we feel very grateful for the genuineness in your presentations, the realities you communicated to us, really similar to what we experienced yesterday. We've once again been shown the realities on ground. I was particularly touched by, the comments made by our military personnel in the house, who talked about the fact that we don't have to think of these things from the perspective of sentiments, or I like this, or I don't like this, or this is my this, or this is my this. We must get to a point where we are thinking as Africans and looking at the bigger picture, that except we do this, we may as well be preparing ourselves for a collective annihilation. And will it be better for all of us to die, perish? Because that's actually that's what has been happening to us. We have been perishing for a very long time. Our people are perishing on a daily basis as a result of lack of consensus. And we are hanging on little things that we could actually let go for our own collective interest. Because if we don't do this, if we don't come together around meaningful things, we will all gradually keep dying together. It's either we live together or we die together. And every one of us can confirm that it's better to live together. Put off certain things that may feel like, about the sentiments. I want to be able to hold on to this one, or why should it be this person's language that is made to be the language that everybody is speaking? Why this? These are really sensitive things that there's no single answer about it. But what it really makes sense to me in all of it, including what Madam Adovelande just mentioned, finally, it's all about looking at things realistically, being objective, although objectivity is defined by people in different ways, and people could see something in different ways, but whichever way we are seeing it, the reality on ground is that we are dying. Yesterday, we saw the death we are experiencing in terms of artificial intelligence and how the world is being ruled with as a result of data manipulation and the algorithms and things related to all those. The challenges we faced in that regard. These things are very clear pictures that we are dying from several angles at the same time. We are being destroyed from several angles at the same time. He explained how, the variation that was experienced between the situation that was in Rwanda and the situation that happened in Liberia. These are realities, real factors, real situations which everyone can confirm. And do we think that it is preferred for people to waste, as it happened in Rwanda, than for them to be preserved, as the case that was a little different in Liberia? Because there is need in every scenario, in every sector, in everything we are doing, there is need to have leadership. It's all about the picture, the need for leadership. Leadership must happen. And if there is anybody, which is why this conference is built around competency-based. You see, that's the theme of the conference. Africa, and at the end of the conference, we have already discussed with the AU Citizens and Diaspora Directorate, we are setting up an initiative called Africa Competency-Based Precision Citizen Participation Initiative. It is precise. We're not beating about the bush. We want to unite around things that make sense, because Africans don't unite around empty spaces. We must keep emphasizing this. So brothers and sisters, want to thank you very much for the time you brought out to be here today. Want to thank you very strongly, our fathers and our brothers and our sisters, our mothers. We are very grateful that you took our time, because we keep hearing things like, I'm busy. And many times as I'm listening to the speakers, I just wish that all of Africa could be listening at the same time. So we are having some plans that in subsequent conversations and under the initiative we are setting up, we're going to reach out to villages, communities who have no idea about what's happening, who have no idea that they are dying gradually. We are going to set up community centers where we'll be able to, because many people wanted to join from villages who we reached out to, but they cannot afford to pay for data. They cannot afford power supply. So we're hoping to set up, to mount solar panels at community centers, where we are going to also provide laptops in different communities across Africa under our OAD Solutions for Communities initiative, which is an aspect of this. And we are going to be able to put data in those laptops to ensure that during these conversations, we'll also pay some, translators who are going to be resident in those places, working with our members, because in every community, we have at least one PhD holder. So we want to work with them to customize solutions that are relevant for those communities. And we'll link them for those of us who are in the diaspora. The opportunities we have abroad, we are going to be able to link those villages, whatever they need, because we heard from Dr. Egbeto that the problem is not about, that we don't have money. It is that we have human beings who are not being sufficiently allocated to existing resources. We want to be able to find ways of allocating these human beings to existing resources. And how are we going to do it? We're going to work with our members who are scattered across the continent to customize the solutions. What does your community need? What's available in your community? What can be sold in your community? What can be done in your community for people to begin to earn money? We'll match it up with existing research and information on the ground, and link up with those people, because for a PhD holder, even if he is poor, at the moment she is still poor, they still have some respect in their communities. We want to be able to harness the collective respect we have in our communities and put it together as a force that should be used not for pride, but as an instrument of serving our communities, because we understand that every advantage you have above anybody else should be an instrument, should be an opportunity for service to serve them. So ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the excess time we've taken for today, and we hope that tomorrow we will work a little better to ensure that we don't take much time as this. And that's the 6th day is tomorrow. And the last day is going to be on the 25th. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I want to appeal to you. If we have space on this Zoom, I want to appeal to everyone here. At the moment, a lot of people have left. We have 40 people remaining here. I want to appeal to you, please, if you can. We are listening to these things. They make a lot of sense. Please, can you invite 20 people in your WeChat contact or whatever panel, whatever platform you're using? Can you invite 20 people? Can you invite 30 people? Privately send them this message and say, I have enjoyed what is going on, and I want you to listen to what's going on, because for us, every day is loaded. No day is less important. If those who have been coming can confirm, every day is loaded. Can you tell them, please come and listen? Because if our minds are sufficiently stimulated, we will be able to get things done. We need the numbers. That's how artificial intelligence functions. We need the numbers. We need the numbers to make things happen. No single individual amongst us will be able to do much. So please, let's prepare ourselves. If we invite 10 people, assuming you invite 20 or invite 30, 10 may show up. That means we will have at least 500 or 400 or whatever number. and we will be able to benefit more, because the more in number we are, whose minds are charged and who understand the implications of what's happening on the continent, who understand the speed at which we are dying, the more we understand it, the better for all of us. Many people who attended yesterday said they are ready for action and they're going to do something because they have understood. Brothers and sisters, thank you very much for your time once again. And we thank you and say, for those who want to hang around a little more, conversations can continue, but the meeting is now hereby officially closed for today. And further conversations could happen, like for the past 3 days, many people usually wait till 1 a.m. talking and, rubbing minds together. Some business opportunities get to be discussed. I don't know what's going to happen today. It may not happen. So I'm making no promises, because even myself, I'm just going to hang around. If anybody's going to do any conversations, that's beautiful. And I hope that we'll all keep enjoying. Thank you to everyone. And if anybody wants to say something, the floor is open. Just have a wonderful night rest. Have a great day for those who are in Africa, who are still running on with their day. Thank you once again. Thank you once again.
Put forward citations for
Yes, I really would like to say thank you to the organizers of this seminar. You have indeed contributed a lot to solving our problems as Africans. Dr. Odi made a statement yesterday, and till today I'm still thinking about it. It's just one sentence. We are indeed in trouble. We are in trouble. So, am I heard? Please, I want to know if I'm heard.
Yes, clearly. Very clearly.
Yes, okay. Yes. Dr. Odi made a statement yesterday. He said that we are in trouble. So, till today, I'm still thinking about it. We are actually in a big mess. Because if we didn't know before, following the discussions that have come up here on this platform, I mean, during the course of this seminar, from day one till now, a lot of revelations have been made that point to the fact that indeed we are in a mess. There was a time I was speaking to Dr. Odi concerning a presentation I was supposed to have in Nigeria. I mean online, but the audience, most of them, of course, were in Nigeria. We're talking about how to view what is going on with us as regards, I mean, the information that are coming out from Africa. So Dr. Odi also made mention of the fact that we can't expect others. We can't, the perspective from which we view ourselves, we should not allow it to come from others. The mirror with which we view ourselves, we should not allow ourselves to get it as a present from others. So it really got me thinking and connecting it to what we have been discussing on this platform. I mean, in this seminar, in the course of this seminar, we realize that indeed these problems are there for us to see. So to what extent are we going to take action to make sure that we curb the excesses of this problem. I mean, the extent at which these problems are growing every day. So we need to work together. We need to collaborate. Our minds in these 3 days, in the course of this seminar, are sufficiently charged. We now know, if we didn't know before, we now know about a lot of problems because of many data that have been given on this seminar, through the course of this seminar. A lot of data have been given, so that they have been able to they have familiarized us with what is going on with the current situation of our dear continent. So it is time for action, indeed. And now that OAD is